What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight, okay, we got another top 10 video for you. So for those of you who are fans of top 10 videos, feeling you. Come on now. Here we go. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all of the clicks and the likes and the bibbity bob, do me a favor. Before you do all that stuff, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Storm Rami, and Storm wanted to see me react to this video, and the video is a top 10 list entitled Top 10 Hardest Rock Songs to Play on the Guitar. Now, have I seen this video before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have seen this video in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start watching this video and I suddenly go, wait a second, this looks kind of familiar, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Let's see, this was posted by WatchMojo.com, okay? And the video has 7.7 million views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Top 10 hardest rock songs to play on the guitar. Okay, now admittedly, I'm a bassist. I'm not a guitar player, so I'm not really going to know just how difficult these songs are based on, guitar ability. I'm just going to be watching this, I guess, and trying to see if it seems as difficult as it is, I guess. I'm not sure. We'll kind of play this by ear, I guess. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
Good old Watch Mojo.
Anyone can play guitar, but few can master it. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 hardest rock songs to play on the guitar.
Well, I mean, anything from Jason Beck is going to be tricky.
For this list, we'll be looking at the songs that guitarists find difficult to play, whether the songs require increased focus, dexterity, technique, or just have a difficult or unusual groove to maintain, flow to endure, or complex structure to cope with.
Buckethead. Okay.
To be considered for this list, songs must have particular challenges for even the most virtuosic of guitarists throughout, not just the solo, no matter how emotive or majestic it may be. Number 10, This Charming Man, The Smiths.
Never thought I'd see the Smiths on a list like this.
Sure, there may be flashier, tappier songs around, but pick up your Telecaster, or Rickenbacker if someone's shooting a video around you, and see if you can nail this. Chances are, you can't. While the song does feature multiple guitars, it's the main electric jangle pop riffs that carry it, live or in studio. Written by guitarist Johnny Marr in the key of A major, This Charming Man uses a raised F-sharp tuning and sees Marr channeling African highlife music. As such, the song makes constant use of arpeggios and a lopsided clave rhythm with only occasional chord stabs. It may offer a slick counter melody to Morrissey's vocals, but it also has a serious risk of crippling your fretting hand. Somewhere, there is a left hand that never gives out.
I guess I can kind of see it.
Number 9, Little Wing.
Oh, come
the
on.
Jimi Hendrix Experience.
Yeah. Well, you won't see too many covers of this song.
Although known for raging stacks, wah-wahs, and fuzz faces, James Marshall Hendrix has his subtle moments as well. Jimmy sets aside his usual furious playing for Little Wing and instead shifts into Curtis Mayfield mode.
Well, she's walking through the clouds.
Offering gentle slides, jazz-like chord melodies, and discreet whammy use. Don't let its slow tempo fool you, however, as Little Wing will occasionally switch from 4/4 time to 2/4, feature loads of unusual suspended 2 chords, continual hammer-ons and pull-offs even while gripping chords, and will require you to bring in your fretting hand's thumb to balance out the workload. You can borrow your church's Leslie speaker to help you get the right tone, but as for getting the notes right, only practice and patience can help you there.
They got the Leslie set a slow tempo too.
Number 8, Snow, Heyo, Red Hot Chili Peppers.
I think I did a reaction to this song.
Picture it, you've locked your pointer finger down as a makeshift capo, got your fingers to pull off and hammer on just right, you've got a grip on the alternate picking pattern, and you've even managed to maneuver the groove. But then, the riff moves. Sure, your fretting hand basically does the same motions all the way through Snow, but then that's the problem. It's like skipping rope on a trampoline while riding a horse. Underwater.
You got practice hard on
But
that.
alas,
You're gonna
you
cramp
see a
up.
glimpse of freedom with the bridge on the horizon, only to discover the chords are weird bar chords based around a D chord and half-muted harmonizing chords based around John Frusciante's unique relationship with the world around him. At least the solo offers some relief. In short, it's about as difficult as your standard Flea bass line. Number 7, Master of Puppets, Metallica. Puppets may feature 2 guitarists, but either path you choose will lead to hardship. Following rhythm man James Hetfield may seem like the easy route, but when you're done obeying your downstrokes, there's synchronized arpeggios and even a solo waiting for you. If you've taken the path of Kirk Hammett, you get the workload of James plus solos rife with alternate picking, tremolo picking, pinch harmonies, and a splash of blues alongside arpeggios and other general riffage.
Oh, yeah, you go.
Throw in a 200 beats per minute plus tempo and multiple time signatures, and you've got your hands full.
I still say Disposable Heroes is a harder song than Master of Puppets. Maybe not so much on guitar. Maybe on guitar, maybe Master of Puppets is tougher than Disposable Heroes. But I know for as far as bass lines go, Disposable Heroes I think is tougher than Master of Puppets is. But yeah, like I said, this is for guitar playing, so I guess it is.
Number 6, Scene 7-1, The Dance of Eternity, Dream Theater. With over 100 time changes and a complex, highly orchestrated composition, The Dance of Eternity is difficult to play on any instrument.
Yeah, this song is a nightmare.
Played on a 7-string by John Petrucci, the instrumental piece uses an entire smorgasbord of advanced techniques, alternate picking, sweep picking, in addition to arpeggios and intricate melodic passages that are often synced and linked with the bass and keys, all while locked into wacky time signatures. There's no room here for anything resembling traditional classic rock guitar playing. So delicate and precise is a Dance of Eternity that a single bum note could derail the whole thing.
Yeah, no joke. One wrong note, you could just completely blow the entire song.
Number 5, Through the Fire and Flames, DragonForce.
It sounds hard. I mean, I can imagine it is.
There were rumors that Through the Fire and Flames was actually recorded at a slow tempo and sped up in post, but that sounds like the talk of someone who tried to play it themselves and failed.
Yeah, until you see them actually play it live, and it's like, oh, they really can play that fast.
Ironically, the track's weirder sounds may be the easiest to get a handle on. The Pac-Man noises? Scratch the tip of your whammy bar across your fingers.
Yep.
With the gimmick sorted, all that's left are some intense legato and staccato licks, over-the-neck tapping, guitar harmonies, and a down-and-dirty guitar duel. Meanwhile, simultaneous wah-wah and whammy pedal work means even your feet get called into action.
Wah pedal and whammy pedal both.
Number 4, Kfo, Animals as Leaders.
Never heard the song before, so I don't know.
Given Tosin Abasi's penchant for his 8-string Ibanez Tam 10, raising the $1,800 list price may be your first challenge. If you opt to settle for whatever 7-string you have lying around, make sure to tune your low E down to D, and watch as the struggle begins. From there on, the song has nothing for you but a barrage of taps, alternate picking, taps, tapped chords, tapped double stops, taps, sweep picking, sweep, taps, bass style slaps, and taps, with bars of 8/4 and 9/4 time for good measure.
That sounds like a nightmare. I don't know if it is. I mean, from what he's describing, lots of tapping, lots of different styles of tapping. Sounds like a nightmare, especially if you're. I mean, I'm sure playing on A string might make it easier, or I mean, it depends on how familiar you are with an 8 string. I know when I jumped from 4 to 6, it took me a while. It did. I think part of the reason that was so tricky for me is because I skipped 5. I went from 4 right to 6. I don't recommend that, by the way. If you're a bassist, you're thinking about expanding your string count, don't do that. It will make your life twice as hard. Get a 5. Just go on Craigslist, find somebody who's selling a 5-string for cheap. You know, you can find them for like $100, $200. Get yourself a 5. Get used to it. Then go to 6. I promise you, you're gonna make your life a lot easier than what I did. It was a nightmare. It really was. So transitioning from a 6 to an 8, I can imagine transitioning to a 7 first might be easier. But trying to learn that song, unlike he was suggesting on a 6 and with a drop D tune, or these, did he say drop D or just drop your E down to a D? There's a difference. It might be trickier doing it on the 6. I'm sure it would be. 7 might make life a little easier, but then again, maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, looks like we got Dire Straits now. That's interesting.
8/4
Which
and
song?
9/4 time for good measure. Number 3, Sultans of Swing, Dire Straits. There may not be any taps or video game noises, and it may be moderately tempoed and in 4/4 time, but that doesn't make Sultans of Swing an easy ride. Grab your Strat, switch on the middle and bridge pickups, and be prepared to learn a lot of D minor.
Yep.
first major challenge will be figuring out Mark Knopfler's unique picking style.
Yeah, I was
which
gonna
uses
say.
the thumb, pointer, and middle fingers in place of a traditional pick. The second challenge is his fretting hand, which will see him take partial bar chord grips and create a constant stream of riffs loaded with hammer-ons, pull-offs, slides, and vibrato. While the fills throughout are challenging enough, Knopfler saves it up for the solos, especially the second solo and the infamous quick-fire triplet riffs that bring the song to a close.
Ah, yes, Eric Johnson, of course.
Number 2, Cliffs of Dover, Eric Johnson.
So what's number 1 gonna be?
Apart from the dizzying string-skipping intro, this track isn't the fastest on the list, but Cliffs of Dover will take most of your focus and a lot of your stamina to make it to the end. Eric Johnson himself took nearly 8 years before committing it to tape, with a lot of that time dedicated to learning a classical fretting style for maximum clarity.
His stretch, his span is amazing.
Even then, he wasn't happy with his performance, and a sharp ear will hear Johnson switch from a Gibson 335 to a Fender Stratocaster to redo parts he felt weren't up to par. But even if you don't hold your playing to Johnson's standards, you'll still have to work your way through a lot of string skipping and hybrid picking passages, or your trip to Dover isn't going too far.
For sure. Love the song. I would never want to play it on guitar. That looks like a nightmare.
Our number 1 pick, here are a few
honorable mentions. Okay. Huh. Okay, we got fighting the honorable mentions. So who's number 1?
Number 1, Eruption.
Should have known.
Van Halen. Taps had been around long before the release of Van Halen's debut album, but it was Eruption that put them firmly in the mainstream. Played in A-flat on his homemade Frankenstrat, Eddie Van Halen claimed the piece was influenced by Led Zeppelin's Heartbreaker, which, oddly enough, doesn't have taps. Parts of the composition, meanwhile, are based on Let Me Swim by Cactus. Aside from the game-changing two-hand taps, the solo is loaded with whammy dives, legato, and tremolo picking, which combined make this a difficult piece to play at a high speed. Even Van Halen himself claims to have botched the job on the recorded version, which leaves little hope for the rest of us. So, do you agree with our list? What rock song do you find the most challenging to play? For more humbucking top 10s published daily, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
I'm really shocked Ingve didn't make the list. I'm really surprised. I'm really shocked that Ingve wasn't mentioned at all, like even in the honorable mentions. I mean, okay, these lists are always subjective, and I don't even know, like, if there's any influence on which songs are actually selected. And I don't know what the basis on what they're selected on. I mean, they're giving examples, yes, but I mean, that's the thing about music is subjective. It's really kind of tough to put a top 10 list together of most difficult guitar riffs. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, it's always going to be open to interpretation. It's always going to be open to opinion. I mean, this Watch Mojo obviously has their opinion. And was this list compiled by one individual, or was there some sort of a board? You know, it was like, 10 people, 11 people sitting around, and they all voted. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how their list is actually compiled. So, I mean, it was entertaining and it was informative, sure. I don't even know how I'm going to score this. How am I going to score this? Let me get my thoughts together. Let me see if I can even come up with a score for this. And I'll see you in the review, and I guess we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was top 10 hardest rock songs to play on the guitar. This was a top 10 list from WatchMojo.com, and this was requested by Storm Rammy. Okay, I gotta be honest with you, folks. I contemplated not giving this video a score. There's a lot of factors that have to come into play here. Some of the factors I am qualified to discuss, and some factors I'm not. I am not a guitar player. I'm a bassist. So when people are talking about, what do I think are the top 10 hardest bass lines to play? Well, I have my own personal thoughts on that. I have my own, personal input on that. But even then, that's just my opinion. It's if you're asking for factual, like what are the actual factual most difficult bass lines in the history of music, I'm sorry, I don't think anybody is going to be able to come up with an actual factual list, because everything's going to be influenced by opinion. That's number one. Number two, when you're looking at a video like this that says top 10 anything, it doesn't even matter what it could be. It could be top 10 scariest moments in horror movie history. It could be top 10 most difficult drum riffs to play. It could be, top 10 most difficult, cooking recipes. Let's get more specific. Top 10 most difficult Italian dishes to cook and prepare. It could be any top 10 list. It's always going to be subject to opinion. And it's going to be subject to the opinion of the people who are compiling that list. Is it one person making that list? Is there a consensus amongst the board? Is it voted on by the fan base? I mean, there's always going to be conjecture, and there's always going to be opinion, and there's always going to be, some sort of a personal input into that list, which by default is going to make the factual part completely invalid. So basically, the title of this video is very misleading, okay? It's not factual. It's based on opinion. Now, based on whose opinion? One person, 5 people, 500 people? I don't know. I don't think anybody knows other than WatchMojo.com. So it's very difficult to say that how accurate this list is. It's based on the opinions of people at WatchMojo, or by fan base members of WatchMojo, or by committee. I don't know. But I will say this. I will say this. The video was well put together. It was well edited. The elements that were discussed in each song sounded accurate. And remember, I'm not a guitar player. I'm a bass player. But a lot of the things that they were mentioning, it made sense, and it lined up with what we were hearing within the song. So it's accurate from a technical standpoint and evaluation standpoint, absolutely, as far as each song goes. Now, as far as ranking in that list, or even appearing on that list in the first place, again, subject to opinion. Personally, I think, I don't know why Yngwie Malmsteen wasn't on that list, and there's some incredibly difficult things from Malmsteen that are on there. They mentioned Jason Becker at the beginning. Didn't see him. Satriani wasn't on the list at all. He wasn't even mentioned or even put in the video whatsoever, which I found a little disrespectful, to say the least. It was nice to see Dream Theater represented. That was nice. I think there are more difficult guitar parts than Dance of Eternity. Dance of Eternity is a nightmare for the counting, for the measures, for the time signature usage. I mean, from what I could hear in the guitar parts and what I've heard in the guitar parts, it is a difficult song, yes. Is it the most difficult song that Dream Theater has ever written as far as guitar parts go? I don't know about that. I think there are others, and I think John Petrucci himself would probably agree with me on that there are other songs from Dream Theater that are far more difficult to play from a technical standpoint than Dance of Eternity. Like I said, Dance of Eternity is just a nightmare counting. I do agree with Little Wing. Yes, absolutely. I absolutely agree with that song. They mentioned in the honorable mentions, they mentioned Stevie Ray Vaughan, and I agree with that. I think Stevie Ray Vaughan actually should have been in the top 10, personally. You know, it was great. It was great to see Eric Johnson in there. That was nice. A little surprising to see Red Hot Chili Peppers in there. Snow, especially. That song, on listening to it, it doesn't sound all that difficult, but hearing the explanation as to what makes the song difficult, I was like, oh, yeah, your hand's going to cramp up real bad trying to, you know, keep that capo with the with the index finger going the whole time while moving around the neck. That's going to make life difficult, all right. I absolutely agree with that. I didn't hear that in the song when I reacted to it, but because I didn't know. I thought he actually was using a capo or something. No, there was a lot of intricacies within this video. The video was well constructed. It was well edited. I liked the explanation as to why they selected each song as for their list, and you know why they chose this riff as being, you know, one of the most difficult to play on guitar. I absolutely appreciate that, because obviously attention to detail absolutely helps. So taking all these things into account, believe it or not, I did come up with a score. And I'll just give the score right now, and that's going to be pretty much the end of the video. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give this top 10 list. Now remember, this is all subjective. It's, you know, based on opinion, and I don't know how accurate this list is, but based on this list and on this video, I'm going to give that video an 8.1. Yep, 8.1. I feel good about that score. I think it's very appropriate. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Well, actually, I've already told you why. I don't need to tell you why. But an 8.1 would basically translate to a great scale rating, 4 to 5 stars, and an A- letter grade. So there you go. Yeah, I feel good with that score. I think it definitely fits the work that was put into this, the research that was put into this. Don't necessarily agree with some of the selections, but other selections I do agree with, and I appreciate the detail that was put into the video when it came to their supporting arguments. So yeah, 8.1, I feel good with that score, and that's where we're going to stay. So let's wrap everything up here in a nice shiny bow, shall we? We have an 8.1, which is a great scale rating, 4 to 5 stars, and an A- letter grade. Take your pick, I don't care, whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hope I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, that did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for the night, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.